Hello, hello, hello. I am not going to be turning on my camera today because I am painting. Um, well, I suppose I can do this. Hi, all. Um, so I'm just going to go ahead and unload here right at the start. Okay. Um, I know a lot of people don't understand this, and it's very hard for many people to see, and that they feel that because you disagree or dislike a thing someone did, that you disagree or dislike that person. And I want to clear that up real quick. Uh, I have nothing against Mike. I think if I were to want to go watch the news, I would probably go over to Mike's channel and watch it. Uh, that being said, I still didn't agree. Now, perhaps I could have handled it better. Hindsight being the great teacher that it is, I probably should have handled that much differently. However, I am only human. We are all only human. You guys have heard me talk a lot about forgiveness on this channel. You guys have heard me talk about how forgiveness is not for the other person, it is for yourself. And so last night I watched a show about forgiveness. I watched about an hour of it. And forgiveness was not mentioned in that first hour whatsoever. And so I then left the show. It really hurts me and it really pains me about all the division going on in the world today. And I noticed that I'm really, I get hurt very deeply. I take things very personally, whether they are mine to take personally or not. Okay. And I know I'm not the only person that does that. It was quite obvious the last show we had that I was not the only person that does that. So, having said that, I'm going to follow it up with this statement. And I'm going to turn on my camera to do it. This is my statement. I cannot like things that people do and still like the people. And I can love you from way the hell over here. I am that kind of person. I cannot like you and still love you. That's not what this is about. What this is about is I am no longer going to take personal responsibility for people hearing things that I have not said. And I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of this. My husband will say something and I will interpret it in an entirely different manner. And I have to stop myself and I have to say, honey, can you repeat that? Because you said this, but I heard this. So can you repeat it so I can get your original message? I notice that's happening a lot. I keep hearing things that I've supposedly said or that people have said over on my channel. So I'm going to ask you all to really review the things that you're hearing and ask yourselves, did you hear that right? Did you hear what they were saying, or did you interpret it a certain way and then cling to that interpretation? Because if that is the case, you only fool yourself. Sad but true. So I'm not going to take personal responsibility and allow it to hurt me. I do actually try very hard to say what I mean, and that's still no guarantee that people are going to hear what you're saying, because people are going to interpret the things that you say through their lens. There's Pappy. And that's okay. They're allowed to interpret things the way they want to. But if you are going to carry that forth and you are going to say, so and so said this, then by George, you better have heard it right. And you better have interpreted it right. Or you better have a tape machine or some nice little technological device that can actually quote people. Okay. For those of you who are just popping in here, I'm just going to do a cursory re-over. You cannot like something that someone has done, some action, and still like the person. The actions of a person does not necessarily notate your feelings about a person. Okay. I really want you guys to consider this and think about this. And I want you to also consider and think about that we are all just human beings. We are all just trotting along our paths, and we are all trying to reach our highest good so that we can be a good light to the rest of the world. And we all have that in us. We all strive for that. So I am not going to be responsible for any esteem that I've been held in, because I am human. I have never held myself above anyone else in my entire life. It goes against the very grain of my nature. And if you have felt that way, that is your feeling. And I suggest that you do some soul searching and find out why you feel that way. I have never treated anyone less than me. I have never treated myself as above anyone. And I will not do so. And if you feel that that has happened to you, then I implore you to email me or call me. Most of you have a number for me, and air that grievance with me and find out maybe if we can get some healing done for you, that you felt that you put yourself in that place. We are all human beings. And any expectations that we put on each other are simply our expectations. They are not a model for another human being to live up to. If we cannot live up to the model that we created in esteem for other people, if we cannot live up to that model, then how can we expect other people to live up to that model? Okay. Now, I know a lot of people interpreted the last show that we did as us tearing up Mike. And I'm really sorry that you guys felt that way. We were discussing an action of a person. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to say it one more time. If I want the news, if I want accurate, up-to-date, pertinent information about what's going on in our world right now today, I would probably go get that from Liberty Warrior, because I do think that Mike does a great job of filtering out the fluff. Okay. That's just not where I am in my walk, and that's okay. We all have different places in our walk. And I think I just needed to clear this up with you guys. We are all only human. If you're holding someone in higher esteem than you hold yourself, then perhaps you should look at some of the things that you're thinking about. You should maybe look at your system of how you hold people in regard. And if you are making expectations for others, ask yourself if you are living up to those expectations too. Okay? Because we are only human. And if you expect something of someone else, that doesn't mean you're going to get it. It just means it's what you expect. And so I'm not trying to belabor the point. I know I have a way of doing that. I just feel that it's really, really important that people understand that there is a difference. There's a difference between not liking an action and not liking a person. And when you confuse the two, it leads to much, much drama. And this drama and the separation and things that we are all experiencing at this point in time, it can be painful. It can be painful. And it's because we as human beings also tend to accept the expectations of others. We tend to accept responsibility for what others hear, even if it is not what we have said. And so I wanted to make a clear point today that I had to take some time off. I had to do some critical thinking, and I had to do some soul searching. And Spirit led me to give this message today, that we are only human beings. And while we are magnificent creations from the source of all things, we are also living in a 3D world where we are all trying to get along the best way we know how. So, I relieve myself of the burden of living up to someone else's expectations of me. I have always tried to be very genuine and very open in my talks and discussions with you guys. That's not going to change. And there will be people that don't agree, and that is fine. But please be careful and be aware that what you interpret may not be what is being said. And I ask you to go listen again. And if you're still hearing the same thing or still interpreting the same thing, then go about your day, go about your business. It's okay. But always we should consider these things, I think. I think it's really important. I am at a place in my life, from my experiences, where I've had enough of people cramming things down my throat, and I've had enough of, and I joke and I say, well, I've been a scapegoat so many times in the past that it doesn't bother me. It does bother me. I am not Atlas, and I will not be Atlas. And so therefore I cannot carry the weight of your world upon my shoulders, because you would rather not look into it. That is something you are going to have to work on, and I will be here to help should you need me, or should you feel the need to reach out. However, I'm not going to take responsibility because you think that somebody said something, and that's not at all what they've said. And I think I'm going to have to leave people where they are from now on. And give me a moment, please. Sorry, a little bit just walked in. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover, and I needed to get that out, because I do feel like it's important that, because we do that, we tend to do that as human beings. We tend to take on the weight of others. We tend to be offended for others. We tend to be hurt for others, and it's kind of like a symbiotic thing. Um, and I really needed to discuss it today. And and I'll put the link up here again in a few minutes. Crystal, I just wasn't ready for anybody to come up yet. Shep, if you'll give me a few minutes, I'll wrap this up and then I'll bring you guys up. Um, but I think this is really important that we do discuss this stuff. Okay, I think that um, we are in a time and a place where we really need to start taking a look at ourselves and our perceptions and how we're going along in this river of life. And we need to fix our own weights and measures before we can carry someone else's burdens. And I'll leave it alone now because I think that was it. And I thank you all for bearing with me. Hey, Shep. Crystal, if you want to try again, and I just wasn't ready for people yet.
Hi, Heather.
Hi, hon.
I just wanted to come on. I can't stay, but I went back. I got here late a little bit, but I went back and I heard most of what you said. And so I wrote down some things that I wanted to share with you. My opinion, my feelings, Heather, are that you handled this perfectly fine. You're going to make me cry here because
I'm sorry.
I feel your love in everything you said. So with that said, I just want you to know that being human, only human, is being perfectly fine. And
Exactly.
I want you to know that I love you for coming on here and hitting that subject right off the bat, for stating your truth, for putting up your boundaries. I appreciate that so much. I want you to know I like you. I like you. I love you. And I have more respect for you now because of what you just said to everyone. I also want you to know, and I want everybody to know on your panels, that I come here just to listen because of the insight that you guys bring to my life and to my feelings and my thoughts. And I just wanted you to know that you did nothing wrong. In my mind, nothing. Nobody did. The way it was interpreted, you're right. It was something that people need to go back and re-listen to. And that was just one little incident in a giant world of, confusion. And I just wanted to tell you that, Heather.
I love you,
Heather,
hon.
we love you.
And
thank you, guys. I mean, I appreciate it.
Have a wonderful day. I just wanted
really
to let you know that.
Thank you, Shep.
Shep,
I appreciate it.
I agree 110%.
Me too.
Dorinda. Hi, Dorinda.
Hi.
Yeah. I was here that day, and so.
May I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Will y'all please, please, please keep Travis in y'all's prayers?
What happened to Travis?
They were praying over on Hawk's show. His daughter overdosed.
Oh yeah, I heard that last night.
Oh, we will definitely.
I didn't hear it till this morning.
Our prayers.
She's okay. She's alive. He spoke
Amen.
about it last night on his show.
Well, I wasn't on his show last night. I just found out, but I just wanted to pass it along. Put good energy out there for him.
Heck yeah, hun.
So, you guys, I'm going to step down. Right, I'm going to step down because I like to.
We love you, Shep.
We love you
guys. And this too will pass. Love y'all.
Yes,
bye.
Bye.
Bye, hun. How are you guys doing today?
Sorry.
I just
want to go ahead, Crystal.
I'm sorry. Dorinda, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Crystal.
I'm doing good. I'm just having some issues right now of trying to getting somebody out of my house and bring my car keys back. So I'm I've got good energy, but there's that aggravation too.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative energy in the world right now. And we just got to keep trying to push it away with positive thoughts and love spread.
Yeah. Well, when my ex left, and then I found out I guess he's not coming back, which I'm perfectly fine with that. We had a friend of his and ours that moved in. This boy has not paid me but $40 in 4 months to live here. I've been buying his food. I put gas in the car because my ex left me the car in case I needed to get around, and he's been driving it. I put gas in it. He's used it up. I mean, I I can't take care of him. I got $780 to live off a month, and he's 20 years old. Just found out he's gonna be a daddy, and the girl is 16 years old.
Oh my God.
Yes. And my cousin, because I live in my cousin's house, sent me a text to send to him, and I did. And he's like, "How can I give $400 in 2 days?" I said, "Well, when I asked you about giving me some money, you told me you owed your guy you get your weed from $200. So evidently, you would love to have your weed more than you would love to have a place to stay." I'm not trying to crap on y'all's day or bring y'all down. I'm just frustrated. I done text him I don't know how many times, and he will not answer me about the keys.
Well, listen, I can't give you any better advice than to just go pray on it and ask for the best for outcome for everybody involved to happen, because I can't give you any advice on that. All I can say
I
is,
know.
you're going to have to figure out the steps to deal with that, and I don't know what those steps are. How are you doing today,
Oh, I
Dorinda?
know. I guess it was just, yeah. I guess, I don't have nobody here, and I'm pretty much a homebody and don't go around a lot of people. I have a couple friends, but I guess it was just me trying to release,
Yeah. Well,
talk to
and
somebody.
it's okay to vent. It's okay to get that out of you so it doesn't poison you, right? But when
Yeah.
you get it out of you, you have to leave it out of you. All right, I'm going to give you this story that was given to me a long, long time ago. Okay. And it was a pastor that told me this story. And he said to me, if you have a broken toy, when you were a kid, if you had a broken toy and you took it to your parent and you said, will you fix this for me? You didn't then keep a hold of the toy so that they were unable to fix it. So if you're going to give it to source, to creator, to God, to fix the problem, then you need to let that be fixed. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead
I
of,
need to, I need to leave it at his feet and walk away from it and not pick it up. That's what a lot of us do. We leave it at his feet. We ask him to take it, then we turn around and pick it back up and take it with us.
and you can't do that. It doesn't
You know,
get solved that way. That's not how you problem solve. So, Dorinda, how's your day going, hun?
Pretty good. Hubby went back to
Good.
work today. He went to work 2 days early. Don't get me wrong. I love my husband. But he gets underfoot too much, and it's just like, ah! The time of the great cleansing has started. Things will be somewhat tumultuous for a bit before settling down again. Let's hope it's not a great flushing. Laugh out loud. I love that, Pappy.
Yeah, he's got a way, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I just wanted to say, Heather, that I love you and that I think you're inspirational to people, at least to me. Put it that way, at least to me. And your knowledge base. Oh my God. I just love, because everything you say makes freaking sense. Even if you don't know what you're talking about at the beginning, because sometimes I'm a
Yeah.
little slow. And the people you have up on your panel, like Pappy and Robert and Bonnie, and all of you have a view that makes perfect sense when you're listening.
When we all come together, that's usually, listen, rainbows aren't created with one color,
No,
right?
right.
The beauty of light is not one.
Yep.
I
And
know.
and
I understand, and I thank you for that.
I
And
love everything you said today. It made perfect sense. It was beautiful. And let's move forward.
that's all we can do. That is all we can do.
We have
And
to let go of the negative and push positive up people's butts. Sorry, that didn't come out quite right, but you know what I mean. You gotta
she's
you
talking
gotta
about
give
rainbow enemas.
you gotta give out the love, and you gotta give the positivity out there. You can't live on the negative.
I think I'm gonna have to keep that for tomorrow's show, Dorinda. Rainbow enemas. Rainbow enemas for everyone. No, well, I mean, and I always have tried to do that. Jeff and I, when we started this channel, we started it for trying to help people with the little things that we knew that we could pass on. Okay. And then it turned into something else. And we accepted that and we rolled with it. And we were like, okay, well, I guess this is the direction creator wants us to go. Right. And so we've rolled with that, and it's had its ups and downs, and we've lost people because of those ups and downs. And because as human beings, we oftentimes have trouble distinguishing, and especially with the English language, but distinguishing between somebody potty talking about a person and potty talking about an action. And we as human beings don't always understand that difference. And I've done a lot of time and research, a lot of effort into looking into the origins of things, of words, of different holidays, of all kinds of different things, right? And that was for me. That wasn't for anybody but me. That was just to satisfy my curiosities. And I'm not done satisfying those curiosities. So as I learn, I will pass that on. But when you can shut someone out completely and disregard them and everything you think you know about them because of an expectation they didn't live up to, it's very painful. It's
Yes, it
painful
is.
for both parties. And that's the part that I'm getting at, is I have to stop. And maybe I don't have to stop. I don't know. I'd really love to talk to like Peppy about this, honestly, because he always has some sage words that I have to find the wisdom in, right? But
Yeah.
and it's my responsibility for what I say. It's my responsibility for what I intend. It is not my responsibility for what others interpret or what others take away from that. And that's very hard for me. That's very, very hard for me, because I've always felt like I've always been you can't take the word back. You can't take time back. You can't take those things back. Once it's already been spoken, it's already been spoken.
Yep.
And I can't be responsible for everybody out there in the world take my words and interpret them in a different manner.
No.
I can't be responsible for that.
No, you can't.
But I have always been a person that has felt that responsibility. And then I have to go, no. I didn't mean it like that. This is what I meant.
Yep. And I know the feeling.
I try to clarify.
I am guilty of taking on someone else's anger that is not mine to take on, but I've taken it on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have to try to stop doing that, and I have to stop taking other people's
But
feelings
this is
as my own
yeah.
or their actions as mine.
Yeah.
And I'm
And
trying.
that's part of us being responsible human beings and being responsible uh to our spiritual selves as well,
Yep.
because we know energy can be all manner of things, and it can be contagious in every form, whether
Yep.
negative or positive. We've all
Yep.
experienced that. We all have. When you
Yep.
walk into a room and there's so much, the air is so heavy that it almost strangles you, but you stay anyway because you feel obligated to be there. And then by the end of the day, you're so pissed off and so angry, and you don't even know why.
Yep. Nathan
And the
Ross.
same when you walk into a room and there's so much love in that room and you feel so good, and you leave out of that room and you feel uplifted. And but it's the same energy contagion. Hi, Pappy.
Hi,
Welcome.
Peppy.
Well, hello, hello, hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing much better than the last 2 days.
Oh, thank you, Nathan.
Awesome.
I was going to ask about that. I'm like, what does that
Y'all know
mean?
who Bella is, right?
Yes.
Y'all need to pray for her too. She thinks she's got the coof.
All right. Well, I'm glad to hear, Pappy, that you're
if we're
feeling
sending
better.
prayers out, we need to send prayers out for War Machine on Liberty.
Amen.
His nephew got shot yesterday in front of a temple by a crazy lady and killed.
No, really not.
And I'm not trying to spread gossip. I'm just telling you what they said
Me
last
either.
I understand. I heard that message as well. And I have been praying that the highest good comes out for everyone involved. Listen,
Yep.
Pappy, I really would love you to speak, but I got to tell this real quick. I'm reading a book about the last ghost dance. And in this book, the author makes a poignant point about death and about how we agree to come into this world and leave this world in certain ways. As tragic as that may seem to the ones left behind, that oftentimes it is a reason, a lesson, or a purpose for all participants. And that's not easy to accept for a lot of people. That's very, very hard for people to accept tragedy, for people to accept somebody being shot randomly, right?
Yeah.
Losing a loved one is never going to be easy, no matter the trauma or ease involved in the death. The loss is never going to be easy. However, if we keep in mind that death is not an end, but a renewal, a movement, a change, a rebirth
What's her
into
last name?
something
I forgot it.
bigger, brighter, and better, then maybe we have a little bit better of an understanding of how those lessons can apply to our lives. Maybe we wouldn't been as driven if we hadn't had that loss. Maybe we wouldn't be driven into a certain direction without that loss. Think about the mothers against drunk drivers, right? If they hadn't experienced their losses, we wouldn't have been aware of the problem as much as we are, because they
True.
brought it to public awareness. And while that's not going to be, I'm not trying to belittle the loss at all. So when I say send out your prayers that the highest good can come of this for everyone, this is what I'm talking about, right? That whatever the lesson is, they find it and they follow it.
That was really nice. Now it makes sense. Thank you.
Well, it's never going to be easy because we live in a material world, and so we are used to those material connections, and we rely on them a lot of times because from birth we are taught to look outside of ourselves, look to others for this and look to others for that. And sometimes you really just have to look inside. And sometimes you won't look inside if you're so dependent on looking at those others. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's not an easy lesson by any means, but a lesson it still is. Okay, I'm done now.
Go ahead, Pappy. We could use your insight.
I don't know about insight, but I've come out the other side of this last couple of days of interesting energy shift. I don't know how many people caught it. I think a lot of people caught it in their own way, and they responded to it in their own way, which is kind of why it's presented in the first place. You know, I do believe that when moments of choice are being presented for somebody to make a difference in the life, a switch is made available. And if it's flipped, then illumination occurs so that people can see to make an appropriate choice. And as I was listening to Heather speak earlier, and then putting in context of the last couple of days and the off-kilteredness that I felt and things of that nature, the teaching for the day just came right up by itself. Okay, and I'm going to preface that by saying, Heather, although that I'm going to give this teaching in the context of what you said before. Okay, this applies to a whole lot of people that might give them some understanding as to where they are recently. Heather, you walked up to and stood in front of and peered into what is called the Great Smoking Mirror. Okay, on the Medicine Path teachings, the Great Smoking Mirror might tell us something like this. Through the smoke, I see, looking back, another reflection of me. Mirror of my inner self. Who are you if I am me? Mirror of my outer self. What do others see? Is it the truth in my heart or human vanity? Now, the key word for the Great Smoking Mirror is reflections. And the teaching goes something like this. The Great Smoking Mirror is a widely used teaching of the Mayans and is sometimes taught by the Cheyenne and the Pawnee. The Mayans say, I am another one of yourself. In this manner, the Mayans stress that every life form reflects every other life form, and that all originate from the same original source. It's kind of like my same feelings and thoughts on everything. The smoking mirror's concept of unity can eliminate all types of grandiose and elitist ideas that evolved in the fourth world of separation. Now, understand what I just said. The fourth world of separation. That's the world we're transitioning out of right now. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't wake up the next morning and go into the fifth world. It doesn't work that way. It's a process. If every two-legged would see all other humans as unique expressions of oneself, we would have no basis for quarreling or war. The Great Smoking Mirror speaks of the reflections of the self that are seen in others. Great Smoking Mirror allows the smokescreen of personal illusions to be pierced when the mirror, which is just beyond the smoke, is caught by a shaft of illuminating light or realization. The mirror has smoke in front of it, so you can't see a true reflection. That's the fourth world. That's all the smoke that we're going through every day. You can call it smog, you can call it whatever you want to. In that moment of illuminating light, those who are willing to look at themselves see the illusion of their personal myth. The part of self that insists upon being the only one is shattered by the realization that every life form holds an equal part to the solution of wholeness. Our criticism of other people holds no weight in the true light of self-reflection. We may have our own opinions regarding others who continue to live with their own inner division, but these opinions serve only as reminders of why we should strive for personal wholeness based in ideas of equality. The Native American teachings regarding pointing our finger at another applies here. When we point our finger at another person, 3 fingers are pointing back at us. In this context, the lesson may convey that others are merely reflections of what we need to recognize in the self. Compassion for others who must learn difficult lessons on their personal paths is of utmost importance. Lack of compassion results in an unforgiving coldness that consumes the heart. Life cannot quicken and grow inside a person who cannot forgive others or oneself. Some seekers in this time of awakening have adopted glib phrases that lack compassion. The phrase, "they created their own reality," when spoken without understanding or compassion, reflects a lack of development in the seeker. When another person is treated in this callous manner, it is another one of ourselves who is being harmed. Other seekers who look too deeply at themselves begin to demean the self with the cold voice of the inner critical parent. The great smoking mirror teaches balanced reflection that does not seek to lessen the value of the self, but rather to correct unhealthy attitudes that limit the growth potential. When we admire another's gifts, we are being asked to acknowledge the unique beauty of that esteemed person so that we may see the similarities in ourselves. The great smoking mirror is one tool we may use to create harmony in all our relationships through introspection and self-examination. When we are not at odds with the self, the reflection we see in others will be ones of beauty. When a mirror shatters into hundreds of pieces, each piece will give the viewer a complete picture, just as the entire mirror did when it was whole. The great smoking mirror is no exception. All of creation can be viewed by seeing through the smoke of physical illusion into the true nature of life. Worlds upon worlds can be discovered within each atom. Every part of creation is interconnected and depends on all other life forms within the whole. When any part of our world is thoughtlessly destroyed, many other interdependent parts suffer. The great smoking mirror teaches each person to look for similarities rather than difference when viewing others. The red race understands the planetary family and the value of learning the languages of all life forms on the Earth Mother. Through the languages of all other life forms, we are constantly given gifts of reflected knowing. That's why these cards that Robert pulls, the cards that I pull, and some of the other teachings are important, because there are lessons that can be applied through all these other life forms to us. All right. People who use their creativity to find the personal answers that will assist their growth have discovered a part of the great smoking mirror. Answers are reflected to every seeker in a different way. Each time the haze of an illusion clears and a bright new understanding appears on the horizon, we have shattered the lie that insists that we are too different to live in peace with other parts of creation. The smoke is clearing. It's the time of the clearing smoke. Okay, and we're starting to see the reflections in the mirror, and people are starting to look in the mirror. They couldn't see the mirror there before, but the smoke is clearing. Okay, we have to fan that smoke to clear it away for as many people as possible. But understand that the great smoking mirror is very much an individual thing. You cannot see the same thing looking in another person's mirror because it is not mirroring you. It is mirroring them. They're just another piece of a shattered mirror, if you want to put it in that context, that Creator has created out there. Every one of them reflects the whole from the small piece they are. So how do you apply that? The great smoking mirror reflects the lesson of leaving the myth behind you. You are what you decide you are. Remove the smoke screen that hides your natural talents or your worth and stand tall. Recognize the areas to be developed further and begin that process. Stop cowering before your potential and live your truth. There are millions of role models to choose from. On another level, you're being asked to be a good reflection for others. Encourage others to be bold through walking your talk. The reflections you see in others may not make you happy if you are doubting yourself, and you're right to be. Jealousy on any level only inhibits growth and wastes your energy. Shatter the mirrors that insist on self-importance, gloom, or failure, so you can get down to what's really important. On all levels, the smoking mirror asks us to accept light and shadow as equal. The reflections we dislike can be worthy opponents who teach us to grow into our potential. Even our shadow sides serve us by leading us through trial and error to the true image of the self. Once again, the looks within place. To go to the looks within place, you have to go through the smoke and haze and the reflection to get to the looks within place. We all get there at some point. We all, at some point in our life, get to the great smoking mirror. Many of us more than once. Most of us should keep the great smoking mirror handy so we can pull it out and look at it frequently.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're looking at it just to pluck your eyebrows and do that sort of stuff, make sure your mascara is straight, maybe you're not seeing the true reflection of who you are. So Heather, I would like to congratulate you for seeing the smoking mirror without the haze in front of it.
Not an easy task, honestly.
Of course not. If it was easy, they wouldn't be teaching about it, would they?
Right. Well, you know what they say about things worth doing, right?
That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a pleasant experience all the time, Sometimes, like I said before, truth is just truth,
Yeah. Yeah. Truth doesn't really care about your feelings.
No, it doesn't.
So you were able to bring that
simply
teaching out for all the people that listen to you, Heather. How about that? You brought it right up today and put it right out there. Good girl.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I spent much time seeking inside to find. I didn't even know if I was going to have any more shows, honestly.
That would have been
So I had to search
heartbreaking.
for it.
That would have been heartbreaking.
Well, you're no different than some other people, like I just said, there's millions of role models out there. some other people in our very close circle went through the same thing this weekend.
Yes.
Well, that just shows connectedness to me.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
we're kind of all on the same learning curve. Hey,
Yeah.
Tim, how you doing?
Jim's in the house.
Hey, Tim. Hey, B-Dog.
Hey, Robert, how are you today?
Overslept.
Must have needed it. Are you feeling better, hon?
Yeah.
2 days in a row, Robert. I slept until 11 o'clock in the morning. Why? I don't know. Went to bed at the same time. Everything. I guess I needed it. You know what I think? You know what I think has happened? Creator put us to sleep under anesthesia so he could do some rearranging.
Yeah.
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 Hey, Robert.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good
Robert.
morning.
I think it's morning.
Well,
You
it's
think
morning
it's
where I'm
morning?
at.
Afternoon where I am.
Well, I
It's
can hope.
afternoon here.
I can hope you all have a great creator cleansing. You'll know it's perfect when you get up in the next morning and you feel not too bad, and it's one of them double flush mornings.
Been there, done that. Awesome.
Good on you. Good riddance. Goodbye.
Well, Heather, one of my prayers were answered.
Good.
I got one thing taken care of.
Awesome.
Now it's just getting my keys back.
Well, I think that lesson that Pappy shared with us, I hope that it reaches many, many ears. And I hope that when people look at that message, they look at it with the eyes of their spirit rather than the eyes of their ego. Because I think that's what gets us in trouble so many times.
Dorinda, did you just comb your hair with a fork?
I've combed my hair with my back scratcher. Yes, I did. If I
I
had,
was just
there
laughing.
was a little itch, and I'm like, yeah, well, the back scratcher will scratch it. There we go. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I just thought it was funny.
No.
It's like, did she just do what I thought she did?
Kind of, but it's a back scratcher.
Hey,
Well,
multiple uses.
There's a lesson in everything, isn't there, Crystal? You
Yes,
use
sir,
what
there
works.
is.
And what's handy?
You'll find lots of things in life that have more than one purpose.
Yeah.
Okay, you just have to explore them. You don't have to say, I can't use this because the people that manufactured said it's a back scratcher. Well, my back starts at the top of my head then.
Yep.
If it works, it works. Okay, and that's the same way on our pathway that we go through in our earth road. If it works for you, who the hell gives a shit what somebody else says about how you should use it?
Amen.
Your spirituality, okay, and your expression of spirituality is nobody else's responsibility. You do not have to have their permission to utilize it, nor do you even need their feedback to continue it.
Yeah. How many people have used a butter knife for a screwdriver? Been there, done that.
Oh yeah,
Been there, done that lots of times.
I've even slipped a little bit and had it go right into the socket.
Or have to use a credit card or driver's license to get into your house.
Yep.
I use a credit card or driver's license to scrape my windshield.
Yeah.
I can
Well,
use
my
them for
walk
scissors.
is not your walk, and your walk is not my walk. We all have different walks.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm
Well,
tending
Heather-
the fire. Give me a moment.
Heather, I would like to extend my thanks and appreciation for once again for you seeming to have an uncanny ability to be in the right place at the right time, to elicit things to pop up that need to be addressed in the
I am but
appropriate
a
time,
conduit.
in the manner that they're supposed to. And, for that, I see you as a great go-between.
He
Yeah.
comes at it as love. You don't come at it as a pushy person, if you get my drift.
But I am just a person.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
know.
just trying to be my best person. And I hope,
You are,
Agreed.
I hope that my fellow beings will all try to be their best. My cats have no worries about being the best cats. And even though one doesn't hunt at all and the other one hunts profoundly, neither one of them worries about being the best cat they can be. They give me love and they know that they are loved. And there are many lessons to be gained from all of our relations. If
You
we
are
can
a
sit and
you
think
are
about
a
those
book of
lessons.
you are
When
a
I-
book of knowledge, and you're an awesome person, Heather. You and
When-
Joe and
when-
everybody up here.
When I was at work the other day, I'm like, what the hell was that? What did I see? Okay, running across the parking lot. I'm like, was that a rat? A big freaking white rat? I'm like, no, it can't be. All right. It was not a white rat. It was a white ferret with a black tip on its tail running around the damn parking lot at Walmart. Now, if I hadn't had to go back to work, I probably would have tried to catch the damn ferret and brought it home because you
That
can't
was
leave it.
probably a wild ermine.
No, I think it was someone's pet, and I think it got out of the car when they got out. Because, I mean, I've never seen a white ferret with a black tip on its tail at Walmart in the parking lot. So when I
I'm
went
sure
in,
they don't sell those in the pet department.
so I
I'm
went
sorry.
in to this customer service and I said, we have a white ferret with a black tip on its tail running around the parking lot. Could you make an announcement so someone can go find their goddamn ferret? She goes, I can't really do that. I said, yes, you can. Make an announcement so that they don't lose their damn ferret. Right? I'm being
Hi, Char.
helpful. So she makes this weird fucking announcement about if anyone has a white ferret with a black tip tail, please or black tipped tail, please come to customer service. Okay. She did get a couple come to the thing and she said, your ferret is running around the parking lot. Well, they dropped everything and ran out to get the damn ferret. So I'm really glad that I made her do that because the ferret might have gotten hurt or gotten killed or whatever in the parking lot because people don't give a shit.
Now,
I was adamant that she make the announcement, though. She was not going to make the announcement. I'm like, make the announcement.
did you go out there and see if the ferret's first name was goddamn?
If I had got off, when I got off work, I looked around to see if the ferret was still around, and it was not. So I'm assuming they caught their ferret because I'd have brought the fucking thing home. And then I'd have been in shit with my husband because he said, no more pets.
Yeah.
But it's a ferret. It's not a cat. It's not a dog. But it was so cute.
See,
And I've never
you
liked
did your
ferrets.
part. You didn't have to get off work and go out there and see a furry frisbee laying in the parking lot.
No, I walked around where the ferret was running earlier, and I walked around and I looked under all the vehicles and everything, and I didn't see it, so I then went home. But she did say that a couple came and they were asked, why did you ask about a white ferret with a gray tip on the tail? And she says, because it's running around the parking lot. And they're like, no, it's in the car. No, it's running around the parking lot. They dropped everything right there and said, we'll be back, and ran to go get their ferret.
You know, Dorinda, I hope that that meant so much to them, you know, that come to find out they're some of the richest people up there and they're going to give you a healthy reward for that.
Yep.
I doubt it, but I'm, like I said, I went
Oh, come
looking
on.
for it.
Play along now. Play along.
Yep.
I
Think
wish,
positive.
I
Think,
wish that would be awesome.
think positive.
Yeah.
then you can break the border quarantine. Come on down and visit us all with your rich self.
Well,
That would be pretty awesome.
I actually watched a video this morning of one of our members of parliament in an open session ripping apart the provincial government, saying that the lockdowns are no good, they don't work, da 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 da. This is not how we should have handled things. This is how we should have done it. There is, proof of this and proof of that. Get your shit together and do not. They're trying to extend the emergency for another 4 freaking months. No, go away. Thank you, Tim. I hope so. And he was, I don't even like ferrets. Okay. I don't. I think they're the ugliest things going. But this one was so cute. He was so white and had that little black or gray tip on his tail. It was like, oh my God, he's so cute. Okay. I don't even know what ferrets eat, but I would have figured it out.
They sell it at Walmart.
Probably. I would have had to buy ferret food before I left work.
Well, my experience with ferrets and guinea pigs and hamsters has always been they eat the same thing. My fingers, for some reason, I've been bit by every one of them.
But it was like,
My dad
holy
used to have a ferret.
cow.
So, Robert, I have a feeling that you came up here because you heard something that struck a chord in you.
Well, Robert has had a transmutation revelation, I feel. Well, I'm going to shut up.
You said that Heather brought up something that you read. You brought up something that I think I need to read. It goes back to the turtle, Mother Earth. Turtle, great spirit. Wait, turtle, great mother. Feed my spirit, clothe my heart, that I may serve you too. In Native American teachings, turtle is the oldest symbol for planet Earth. It is the personification of goddess energy and the eternal mother from which our lives evolve. We are born of the womb of Earth, and to her soil our bodies will return. In honoring the Earth, we are asked by Turtle to be mindful of the cycle of give and take, to give back to the mother as she has given to us. Turtle has a shell which is similar to the protection that Earth has employed for centuries as her body has been defiled. Mother Earth's protection has come in the form of earth changes, new plant growth, and the creation of new land masses by volcanoes and climate alterations. Like Turtle, you also have shields that protect you from hurt, envy, jealousy, and the unconsciousness of others. Turtle teaches you through its habit patterns how to use protection. If you are bothered by the action or words of others, it is time to go inside yourself and honor your feelings. If you are attacked, it is time to give a warning snap. If you have chosen the turtle symbol, you are being asked to honor the creative source within you, to be grounded to the earth, and to observe your situation with motherly compassion. Use the water and earth energies, which represents Turtle's two homes, to flow harmoniously with your situation and to place your feet firmly on the ground in a power stance. Turtle is a fine teacher of the art of grounding. You may even be able to overcome some of your space cadet tendency. if you align with turtle medicine. In learning to ground, you are placing focus on your thoughts and actions, slowing to a pace that assures completion. Turtle warns of the dangers of pushing the river, as evidenced by the plodding pace it keeps. The corn that is harvested before its time is not yet full. However, if it is given the chance to develop at its own rate in its own season, its sweetness will be shared by all. Turtle buries its thought like its eggs in the sand and allows the sun to hatch the little ones. This teaches you to develop your ideas before bringing them out into the light. Look at the old fable of the tortoise and the hare and decide for yourself whether or not you would like to align with the turtle. Bigger, stronger, and faster are not always the best way to get to a goal. When you arrive, you may be asked where you've been, and you may not be able to remember. In that case, arriving prematurely can make you feel very immature. If you drew the turtle card, it augurs a time of connecting with the power of the earth and the mother goddess within. This is a reminder of the ally you have in Mother Earth. It does not it does not matter what situation you have created. Ask her for assistance and abundance will follow. Now, there may be a few who need the contrary medicine. Pulling the turtle card in reverse means that Mother Earth is calling you to reconnect in some way. If you have become flippant and forgotten to place waste in its proper place instead of throwing it out the car window, she is calling you. If you have felt alone in your time of need, she is calling you. If you have been struggling financially or have little to eat, or if you have a desired child and see no pregnancy in the near future, she is your medicine. Use it. You are not alone ever. You are a child of earth. All acts of pleasure, joy, and abundance are given by the mother of created force. Use her energy to aid you, and you will be healed enough to share this energy with others. The idea of a turtle helplessly trying to right itself after it has been flipped upside down can also symbolize contrary turtle. You are not a victim, and you are not helpless, no matter how much it may seem like this. In this case, in your present situation, to right the ill defined turtle, you need only list the things you are grateful for, and from that grateful place in your heart, look for the abundance of alternatives that Mother Earth gives. Everything can be overcome if you go within, to that within place. And now's a good time for us all to do that. And Heather's a good help for that. Pappy's a good help for that. And I'll help whoever needs to do that.
That's right.
That's awesome.
I love you all.
We love you too. You know that, right? You know what I always tell Raina? I say, you know how much I love you, don't you?
Talking to you.
She's very sweet.
Talking to you.
Yes, she is.
I love you too, guys.
It's amazing to me how these teachings come about when we all join together, and how well tied together they are, and how the timing is always just divine, isn't it?
Just before the show, I picked a painting to paint later in the day. It is about it's a turtle painting.
Awesome. Here,
One,
I'll give
one
you
of
guys
the
a sneak
things
peek
that
at what I'm looking.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Pappy. You go right ahead.
One of the things that I've learned over my life of these different teachings, and that we're all experiencing as we hear them. You might have a book like Robert does, or like I do, that have a certain number of cards in it. Okay. And you would think, well, okay, we're going to read those. You read those 44 cards, and that's all the teachings. What you come to realize is that they're only symbolic of all the other millions of role models that are out there that are not on the cards. Okay. But let's say they were all numbered and we all went through them one by one by one by one for the teaching. Okay. And we get to the end and say, oh, we've got all the teachings now. No, you don't. Because the one thing you hadn't factored in and figured in, we talk about all the different planes of existence that Creator makes, all the different dimensions within those planes of existence that increase the possibilities, tenfold, hundredfold, millionfold. Okay. That those teachings are free to come together in any combination at any time and work symbiotically and together for a new teaching in a new way, in a new time, as a new application. So they're infinitely able to be moved around according to the needs of the individual that's looking at them. Now, that's no different than looking at a table of the chemical elements. Okay, they got all these elements that they've listed on this table. Okay. Now we know that you got this symbol over here says aluminum, this symbol over here says barium, this symbol says cobalt, all of that sort of stuff. Okay. No, that's individual. What happens when we start combining them together in different formulas, in different strengths? We get all kinds of things that come out of these elements. So if you back that all the way up to the one that made all of the elements, that made all of the various different atoms of anything in creation, can you see how things can be put together in an infinite combination by the intent of the person doing the mixing? That's the power that each of you have when you understand that you are given all of the ingredients that you need to put together the unique you.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow. Hello, NC Girl and Benjamin.
Hello, Benjamin.
New to the channel.
Benjamin. Hey, Benjamin.
He's new to the channel.
Welcome.
Well, you hop right up here by the campfire and warm your toes.
Yep.
I'll be back in a minute.
Oh man, I tell you, it's I want to say it's so great to be on the other side of the chaotic energy, but I know we're not there yet, and I don't want to get thrown back into the throes of it.
All I can say is, have an air sickness bag in your pocket just in case.
Yeah.
Oh,
And turtle in your pocket.
you guys really do brighten my day.
Robert, how's your upper respiratory doing?
Fine.
You got the sniffles?
I got the snifflies though.
Okay. Well, you know what you got to do, don't you?
Yeah. Dip my head, huh?
Sage, rosemary,
Do some
thyme.
paperwork.
Yeah. Get your sage out and go out there and pull a couple of sprigs of cedar and throw it in some water and get it steaming real good. Okay.
Okay.
And do a few snorts of that until you clear yourself out.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yep. Aye, sir. Yeah.
Oh.
You got to, sometimes when, this is the reason I bring that up is that sometimes when you go through these, I call them a healing crisis. Whenever we have a change in our energy matrix, our makeup, whether it's something that we've elicited and attempted to do ourselves, or something that we've taken in from outside, or something that is an update that's being sent down through creator's computer to us. Okay, you'll go through what I call a healing crisis. You know, all of our systems are interconnected: mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical, and energetic. They're all interconnected. So you will get what I call a healing crisis when this happens. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily feeling sick, but you feel a little off kilter. Your body's going through a cleansing process. Some people get the upper respiratory stuff. Some people will get sweating. Some people might get diarrhea or whatever. These simple little things, and I've seen it very often. Okay, and that's a good sign that the cleansing is taking place. I mean, that's the body's response to get rid of things that is not healthy to us.
Right.
And the same thing occurs mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We'll go through and we'll get rid of some of this mucus, if you will, that is trying to accumulate. And a body's response to carrying out organisms that are not healthy is to produce the mucus that catches them and stuff, and it causes the drainage so that they're eliminated from the body. Okay. The same thing happens energetically and spiritually. It's a process. You let it happen. You assist it when you can. Okay. And let it go through the process. On the energy side and on the spiritual side, there's not really an antibiotic you can take for it. Okay. There's not an over-the-counter medication you can take for it. Okay. You have to go to the inner pharmacy to get what you need for that. Okay. And that's your energy. Now, I had talked before about how each of us are nothing more than one little fiber optic strand in the great fiber optic bundle that Creator puts out there. Each of us has our own individual frequency. Now, the one that made the fiber optic strand, us, the energy that is within us, can also tweak the frequency that's going through it. So it changes it. Okay. And it changes that person to a new operating level, if you will. But it also changes that which is around it to adjust for it. So there is an adjustment period for this to go through. Okay. That's a natural process that we allow to happen. When we resist it is when we cause ourselves the problems for this to happen. We're all going through this change, every one of us, everybody, and it's affecting everybody individually. Okay. Some of the stuff is trying to hold on to what was. You can't. What was is gone. What is what you can hold on to. What's coming is what you're attempting to leap towards and grab the ring of. So you can only deal with what's going on right now. So you bring yourself into adjustment with that. And then, like I say, sometimes you may have to get your barf bag out, get it out of your system and get on with a new you. Look for the changes in your life. Change is inevitable. Change is part of who we are. We're supposed to change. If we don't change, there's no progress. If there's no progress, there's no growth. If there's no growth, there is no future.
This is true. You cannot
100%.
you cannot harvest what you've sown if it hasn't grown.
Hello,
Hello,
Devil
Devil
Dog.
Dog. Good to see you. Oh, you can harvest what you didn't grow, but at the same time, you need to make a determination. Is this stuff that I'm harvesting going to be healthy for me? There's people out there all the time that'll come in and try to harvest what you've grown, because they don't want to take the time to till the soil and plant the seeds and take care of the stuff to grow it themselves. They're the psychic vampires. They're the spiritual vampires. They're the emotional vampires. These are the people that are the takers and not the givers. You have to make the determination as to whether or not you're a feeder rather than an eater. You can feed others to the extent that you don't have enough left over for yourself. Or you can harvest extra for those that do not yet know how to do their own harvest and make it available for them as seed stock. You know, whether or not they plant the seeds and do the work necessary for it, it's not your responsibility. You don't have to wear that responsibility. They have free will choice that's given by Creator. Don't take Creator's gift to them of free will choice away from them by making choices for them. It's not your job. It's your job to be a mirror. Take the smoke from in front of your mirror so that they can see a reflection of something. You know, you use your mirror in a way that allows it to be a shield for you, but also allows it to be an illumination for others. And if you're standing in the light, you can use your mirror to reflect that light anywhere you want to. You're a big solar panel in that aspect. You receive energy through that panel, but you reflect it as well. That's what I say, be a mirror. Mirror in a couple of different ways now. Remember, I always say the spider web has two sides. So just like in the same way, the mirror, the turtle shell, whatever, these lessons can be utilized in more than one way. Intent.
Yep.
One of the greatest ways you can teach is to show by example and not say a thing. Not dress yourself all up in fine garments and say, hey, look at me. Not saying, hey, I'm paper trained and stick the paper on your wall with a little frame around it.
Sounds like fox medicine.
Yep. Infinite possibilities of putting stuff together.
Yeah.
Have fun with your little erector set.
And, you know, I'm going to wrap that back around, Pappy, to because self-awareness is self-forgiveness. You have to be able to forgive yourself for your past human mistakes and move forward instead of holding on to them.
Uh-huh.
Always start there first. You cannot forgive others or other situations and stuff unless you forgive yourself. You can't.
Exactly.
Your basis of reality starts from within you. It has to start there.
Yeah. Shepard's reading my mind.
Yep.
I looked within last night for over an hour. It shocked me how fast time went. Hour and 10 minutes.
Time is an illusion.
This is
when you're
not
there.
this
sitting
this
in
process is not, it's not easy. Nobody get us wrong. This is not easy. It's work.
But it's so worth it.
Right. So worth it. I feel so much better today.
And if you look at it as not work, okay, then it can become exciting.
Right.
You know, it can become a little, you know, you can get a little fearful perhaps, okay? Or you can even get a little giddy with these sort of things. You know, hopefully Robert's around or Heather or Dorinda or somebody else to grab a hold of your string before you float too far away. Okay. It can be all of those things, but it is something that you should be striving for, and see what it does for you. You won't know until you try.
That's right.
Yep. All growth comes from within the seed capsule, not from the outside of it. All basis of life starts within the womb, within the egg, within the seed. That's the secret. That's the ginormous secret. It's all inside.
Yeah, I've always found it easier to change my impression of how I view others' actions rather than being frustrated by trying to change other people's actions so that I feel good about myself. It just, I found it easier to say, okay, well, you know, a dog is a dog. If they don't know you, it might bite you.
Yeah.
So
He's going to do what a dog does.
the old story about the skunk, if you get stunk on once, you don't go up and kick them a second time unless you have a partiality to smell like a skunk.
Yeah.
You ain't going to change the skunk from being a skunk just because your foot's headed in his butt,
Exactly. Wow.
You didn't know that discussion was going to be that deep today, did you, Heather?
I did not. I never do. I mean,
We never know.
Yeah, you stay with me and
I
Robert.
never know where it will take us, but I
You
always
stay
trust
with me
that it
and
will take
Robert.
us
We'll
where we
be
need to
one ditch or another right off the road,
go.
because that's where
Well,
turtles live and rabbits live and all those other places,
and Crystal, if you're out there listening, I only muted you while he was reading, and that was just for background sounds. I muted Dorinda too. Background sounds. Listen, today I needed to say what I needed to say before I was willing to let anybody come up here, because I did not want to be taken off of the track that I was being led down and speaking on. So I just wanted to say thank you, if you're still listening out there, for coming up. Sorry, guys, I had to throw that out there real quick. I don't know if she's still with us or if she had to go somewhere, but either way, I mean, listen, it's not that I don't appreciate you guys. I'm human, and I will struggle, and I will search out those who I feel have maybe already endured those struggles, who might be able to give me guidance. But we are all human, and we have to take the lessons that our spirit wants us to have.
Yeah.
No matter how difficult those may be. And
Yep.
we have to take those lessons and we have to learn them, or we're going to keep repeating them. And that is the definition of insanity, to repeat the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. So until we learn them, and we all are walking our paths the best way we can. So we have to be gentle with each other, but we also have to be gentle with ourselves. I'm the worst bully to myself. I am my own worst bully, and have been all my life.
Yep. Agreed.
And when I came to that realization, my entire life changed. So
I'm still working on that one.
Well,
it's a process. But I'm better at it now.
I see your shining radiant light.
Yep.
I see a beautiful soul in you.
Thank you.
And I love and appreciate you.
The same goes to you, Heather.
I was going to say, I still dare you to kick that bear in the butt.
No, thank you. I don't want to kick any bears or skunks. I don't want to kick anything.
Or porcupines. No.
I am trying, I want to walk the way. all my relations, all living, all beings. We are all related. The trees, the rocks, the flies, the gnats, the beetles, the snakes, the bugs, the four-legged, the two-legged, the winged. We are all related, and that is the path that I am currently trying to walk. And Anna had it right. Off-roading is bumpy and fun.
And muddy.
But it is a conscious path I am trying to walk for my spiritual self. And that is all that any of us can do, is our best, right?
That's right.
And realize that we have human fallacies. So we need to be very forgiving in our nature toward ourselves first. And also towards others. And recognize that they're all human too, right?
Yeah.
We are all beautiful souls stuck in this little tiny stage of a planet. We came here for the experience, for the good ones and the bad ones, because you can't really truly enjoy the good without the bad, right? And there is a duality in everything we do, and even within ourselves. And until we can recognize that and sit with it, how can we understand it?
Well, another important thing that I'd like to add to that, Heather, is that, when you look at all of creation, well, the parts that each of us can see, because none of us can see all of creation. There is just so much room out there for infinite individual expression of creation. Okay? And that's what makes the trip so exciting. What happens when we go on this trip of life is that, and I'm going to use Anna's little thing of off-roading is bumpy and fun as an example. Thank you, Anna. Off-roading is fun. You're going to go out there, it's going to be bumpy. There's not going to be a trail. You're going to be looking for a trail. It's exhilarating and it's fun. And as Robert said, it's muddy, it's got thorns and prickle bushes and everything. Okay. And if you understand that that's going to be out there, you can enjoy it as part of the experience.
Exactly.
Now try doing that dressed up in a wedding gown or a tuxedo and saying, I need to keep this clean, and do the same thing. Now you see the limitations you put on for the experience. You've taken away the possibility of the infinite possibilities. Get out there and enjoy the bumpy ride. It's fun.
Yep.
Don't go out there and say, I'm going to limit it so much that it's not fun. Then it becomes work. It becomes unproductive. It becomes an experience you don't want to repeat. So you're walking on a slippery surface. You slip and fall and you fall in the mud. Laugh about it. Mud happens.
I love that. We should make it turn like that.
And Pappy, don't worry too much about me. We've obtained a new fan. Corlin was here with me all this time.
Hi, Corlin.
Hey, Corlin. In the native way, I'm hugging you. It's okay, even though we're not married.
She went in the house. She's getting better. She's over here sniveling and coughing and shit.
It sounded like your dog there didn't approve of me saying it was okay. I was going to hug her.
No,
I heard that bark.
that wasn't.
Was that
wasn't
Frank
here.
or Edge?
That wasn't here.
Or
Oh,
Riley
that was
or
you?
Edge?
That's
Oh,
Bo.
sorry.
That was mine.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay.
oh, just like Bo.
why don't I
He
know your
barked
dog's
at
name?
something out the window, so I muted. I thought I got it quick enough. Sorry.
Why don't I know your dog's name?
Walter.
Walter. I love it.
Come here. Come
I
here.
always wanted a hound dog named Thaddeus. I don't know why, but
Come
Why
here.
would
used to have a
Dorinda have a dog named Walter?
That's the name he responded to. Come. Come on. Ugh.
Say
Can't
hi to
imagine what she
Coraline
would've
for us
named
there,
that.
Robert.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
Walter.
can't imagine what she would have named that ferret.
Well, we sat there for like 3 hours naming names off. My son came home, looked at the dog, called him Walter, and the dog responded.
Mhm.
That's
So
how it
he's
goes
named
sometimes.
after his my father-in-law, my son, and my brother-in-law.
I love you, North Carolina girl.
Raina likes to name all of our animals after food.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, even when she was little, she's always done this. She's always wanted to name them all after food, which has been fine because they've been pretty creative. There's our Bobo.
There he
Hi,
is.
Bo.
There he
Hi,
is.
Bo.
Except for Pillow. When Pillow came home, she called him Pillow, and that was his name, and that was it. Final. She never changed her mind, not once. And so for years now, he's been, and we call him Pillow, my pillow. And that was before My Pillow became a big thing. But even, the kitty cat I'm showing on my picture there, that's our honey bun, because she looks like an upside down frosted honey bun. I thought with Pillow we broke the mold, but I was wrong. But our dog Dash that we just lost, he was named after Dash from The Incredibles, because he would dash off and he was so fast. And that was the name that he answered to. She wanted to name him Scooby-Doo because that was her favorite dog at the time when we got him, but he didn't take to that name. He took to Dash. Yes, sir, that's a lot. Go ahead.
Hey, Pappy, I got another gift.
Yeah. Huh? What they gave you this time?
They gave Frankie a new blanket for her bed.
Cool.
I don't know where it came from. It smelled clean, so I brought it home. I put it in the washer and dried it. And now she's got a new bed. It was at the end of the driveway. I don't know where it come from. I have no idea.
Somebody was moving and it fell off their truck.
No, it was at my bottom of my driveway. In the
Oh.
woods. Right in the woods.
Oh, wow. Somebody was crashing in your woods and you didn't know it.
Something.
That big guy went out there and saw that hanging on somebody's clothesline and said, "Look at this. Robert needs that."
Yeah.
What's the pattern on the blanket? What is it? What describe it to us?
It reminds me of Heather's shirt she wore last week. That flannel, that red flannel. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's red and black check.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
This is such a. This is cozy to me. I love this. This is even the pattern is comforting. It's like a hug, right?
As soon as I seen it, I thought of you, man. As soon as I seen it. That's like.
Well, you
Heather's
tell him I said hi.
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting him someday.
Yeah. And I got the stuff on my grocery list too. I got my string made. I got a little bucket. I'm ready. Well, tonight I'll be ready.
You still haven't fed them poor fellows their apples yet.
No, there's still apples on the tree.
Oh, okay.
They can have all they want. But I'm gonna put some pecans out there. I have a bunch of pecans. I got some snacks.
You want to blow their mind? Put a coconut out there.
Yeah.
Or some bananas. Man, I've been wanting some bananas lately. I was trying to manifest bananas yesterday. Like, somehow bananas are going to pop into my life.
I'm ready, Pappy. I got the.
Hey, you think it's silly, but it's not.
Yeah,
Somehow, somehow I'm gonna have bananas real soon because I want some.
I got the ladder by the woods. I'm ready to go here.
I don't need much in this life.
Well, before you go out there, let them know what your intent is, Robert, so that you know, at least you'll be able to set that pathway up. They'll know that it's you know, it's a place for them, something free with no
Yeah,
strings
no
attached,
strings.
so to speak. You know.
Right. Yeah.
And if you do it, don't set no cameras up out there, no lights, no none of that stuff. You know.
Nope. They get to do whatever they want to do. I love them.
I've really been enjoying watching that Arkansas Bigfoot channel that you pointed us towards.
Yeah, they're a good couple, aren't they? They got their heads on right.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll be learning from them. Definitely. I know they have food. I know they can get food, but this is a treat. No strings attached.
I'll get
Well, the only strings that are attached are respect and friendship.
Right.
You know, that becomes obvious. I'm sure that those things have capabilities, perhaps, that we're not even aware of. I mean, I have feelings about that. You know, I know that objects can pick up the energy of the people that have handled them and things of that nature. Maybe they can perceive that. You might be able to perceive your energy patterns as you were thinking about them, putting that stuff in there for them. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
I keep thinking I'm gonna walk out moon gazing one night and find a dog man in my backyard. I don't know
just
why,
tell 'em
but
not
I
to
always
pee.
feel like that.
Just tell them not to pee on your bushes.
Yeah. Or your tires.
Yeah. I just tell them. I just do it in my head. Look, I'm not scared, but if you startle me, I might jump. But I won't be scared. I'll just be startled, and that's completely different.
I'm
I'm
kind
just
of on
waiting.
the fence about them, you know, because as far as I'm concerned, they're the guardians of the go-between, you know, the go-between places.
Really?
Dog.
I don't see. I don't know that much about them. I know. Well, I've heard little things, as I've tried to look into it more, and from everything that I get, they're either guardians or like the military branch of the wild ones. You know.
Dog soldiers.
Yeah. Exactly. I used to be pen pals with a fellow who was a dog soldier for his tribe. And I was always very, very interested in him, but it was something he was proud of, but he did not want to discuss. And so I never pushed it. I always tried to respect that, you know. But I'm being of the curious nature I am that I have. I try not to poke and prod, but like, hey, I just thought of this question. You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but here it is.
Well, there was a society, and it may still be active, I don't know, but there was a society at one time in the Plains Indians that called themselves the Dog Soldiers, and they had a distinctive headgear and everything. It was their headdress looked like a giant puffball, but it was made usually out of black crow feathers. Okay, and it looked like a big puffball they wore on the top of their head. And the dog soldiers were actually servants of the people, if you will. You know, the guardians of the people and things of that nature.
Right.
You know, and you know, they did a lot of stuff for the elders and, you know, widows and that sort of stuff. You know, for example, they might go out as a society and do a hunt, you know, to bring back you know, food and stuff for the people that didn't have hunters in their group and stuff of that nature. But they were also one of the key things was in times of battle, the dog soldiers would, when the people needed to move away or get away from the enemy or whatever, they would go and stand between the enemy and the people. And they had a special sash that they wore around their waist that was quite long. And they would take the tip of that, they would lay that sash on the ground, and the other part was attached to them, just like you'd put a dog on a leash. And then they would take their lance and drive it through that sash, pinning it to the ground. In other words, that was their symbol that they were willing to sacrifice for the tribe, and they would stand their ground and fight the enemy until they were either killed or the enemy retreated, so that the people could escape. Okay, so when I call in, and I have spiritual helpers that I call in sometimes for healing ceremonies and stuff that are dog soldiers that will do the same thing. So when you look at it in that aspect, and how the Plains people before the arrival of the horse felt about the dog and how they held it in such high esteem, you get an understanding of, once again, the lessons that can be learned from the environment and be applied by people in a way to be able to manifest in the here and now those attributes that they found to be useful to them. Okay, so the dog soldiers were quite special, and they had other types of societies as well too. For various different things. But it's interesting that you brought that up. So when it comes to these cryptids out there that are being talked about, I kind of hold the ones they call the dogmen in that same light. I see them the same way. I see their energy the same way. Maybe back in antiquity, we see all the references to the hounds that guard the gates, so to speak, of the esoteric teachings. You've heard of them.
Yeah.
So perhaps this is no different. But this is just my understanding, of course.
That's awesome. I mean, of course, I know that the dog has been held in high esteem by many cultures around the world and throughout time. And when you look at the attributes of a dog, why wouldn't you hold them in unconditional love, right? That animal would willingly lay down its life to protect its family, its pack, right? Amazing animals.
Would you like to hear dog? Since we're on the
if you
subject.
feel like it's appropriate. But real quick, first, if you don't mind, somebody would like to say hi. Hello, everyone.
Hey, good to see you.
Hi, special
Good to
girl.
see you too.
Love you.
That's Robert. I know you can't see him, but that's Robert. That's Pappy. Mr. Linda.
Dog, you are so noble until the bitter end. Your medicine is the teaching of true and loyal friends. All of the Southwest and Plains Indian tribes had dogs. These noble animals would often give warning signals of approaching danger. They helped in the hunt. They were a great source of warmth on long winter nights. Since the canine tribe has many breeds, early Indian dogs were usually wild. This wildness, however, never divested the owners of their dogs' innate loyalty. Dog has been considered the servant of humanity throughout history. If a person carries dog medicine, he or she is usually serving others or humanity in some other way. Here you will find the charity worker, the philanthropist, the nurse, the counselor, the minister, and the soldier. Dog was the servant soldier that guided the tribe's lodges from guarded the tribe's lodges from surprise attack. Dog is a medicine that embodies the loving gentleness of best friend and the half-wild protector energy of territorial imperative. Like Anubis, the jackal dog protected the dog. Like Anubis, the jackal dog protector of Egypt, dog is the guardian. Throughout history, dog has been the guardian of hell as well as of ancient secrets, hidden treasures, and babies while mother were cooking or in the fields. Dog honors its gift and its loyalty to the trust placed in its care. In examining dog medicine, you might find that you have found personal memories of owning and loving dog as a pet. The message that dog is trying to give you is that you must delve deeply into your sense of service to others. Canines are generally service-oriental animals and are devoted to their owners with a sense of loyalty that supersedes how they are treated. If a dog has been yelled at or paddled, it still remains love. It still returns love to the person who was the source of its bad treatment. This does not come from stupidity, but rather than from a deep and compassionate understanding of human shortcomings. It is as if a tolerant spirit dwells in the heart of every canine that asks only to be of service. You can also see dogs that have the loyalty beaten out of them. They cower and cry at the slightest look of disapproval, but this is not their normal nature. Some varieties of dogs have been trained against their natures to be brutal and vicious. Out of a sense of service, these breeds have adopted the attack-oriental desires of their owners. They carry an altered genetic memory of what service means, if they are to be approved of by their masters. Dog medicine asks you to look at how readily your sense of loyalty is countermanded by your need of approval. If you have pulled the dog card, there are several questions you need to consider, depending on the situation about which you are asking. Have I forgotten that I owe my allegiance to my personal truth in life? Is it possible that gossip or opinions of others have jaded my loyalty to a certain friend or group? Have I denied or ignored someone who is trying to be my loyal friend? Have I been loyal and true to my goals? Now, in the contrary position, dog may be telling you that you have become critical or mean due to the company you are keeping. The reversal of this medicine could also imply that it is time to stop cowering with fear and time to begin to tackle the adversaries of your confidence. The key is to realize that these are not external enemies, but thought forms in your own mind which tell you that you are not worthy of loyalty, either to yourself or to others. You may want to examine the patterns of disloyalty in your life. Do you, for example, pass on gossip or not speak up when someone else is rumor mongering? Do you make jokes that belittle others? Do you refuse to return kindness? These are characteristics of fear, and particularly of fear that is common to the human, two-legged family. The fear of not belonging or not the fear of not belonging or of not being approved of. Reclaim the power of loyalty to self and self-truths. Become like dog, your own best friend. There you
Wow,
go.
I would say that tied in brilliantly and beautifully with today.
That was beautiful, Robert.
You know, I may not say it enough, but I really do love and appreciate each and every one of you. And I thank you for enriching my life in ways that
We
you
feel
do.
the same way, Heather.
Yep.
Oh, me too.
We love you, big grumpy bear. So, Pappy, can I ask you a question? Would you be
Another
kind
one?
enough to? Yes,
I might be
another one.
running out of answers.
Would you be kind enough to send me a picture of Kai and Bo, because in the videos, I usually only see their butts.
Oh,
Well,
dog sled?
fortunately, it was just theirs, and I didn't have the duo camera on then.
Well,
Oh,
I'm kind of, I don't know. I was a little inspired today, but in a very fun way. And then I wanted to do something, and I have the beginnings of it, but
That's cool.
that's cute.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I've got a picture. I'll send it to you.
I thank you. You don't have to, but I would appreciate it. And it's not going to be like a pet portrait or anything like that. It's simply something done in love, just a gift.
Oh, I know that's not a portrait because that don't look anything like me.
Did you here? And this is just a base, but you see your little hummingbird. There's Dove Spirit. There's your cat. I know he's not all black.
That's cool. That is cool.
That's really beautiful, Heather.
He that big old bear was almost wearing bibs, but I thought no, bibs aren't the thing for the bear. Bears
Well, I
have
can
fur;
send
they
you.
don't eat bibs.
I'll just show you a picture of my bear. You've seen a picture of my bear before.
Have?
There.
Yes, I've seen that bear.
When I first seen it, I thought it was two bears. Where the foot is, it looks like a face. Until you blew it up one day, I'm like, oh, it's not a face. It's a boot mark. Oh my goodness.
That's what it takes to get my attention.
Yeah, that goes a little beyond poking the bear, though, in my opinion. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. Well, folks, as much as I have enjoyed our time today, I have to get dinner started very soon. So, if you would like to share some final thoughts with us, final. How about why don't we wrap today's show up with some thoughts? How about that? Pappy reminded me that final is a funny word.
Yep.
Stay positive, spread the love, and stand tall. And I love everybody.
Yep. And go within. Go within and find your truth, your path, and do the best you can like dog. Be loyal. Be a protector. Be a scout.
And be loyal to yourself.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Robert.
You all have a good day. Love you all.
Love you too, brother.
Well, I guess I can have a final thought for this broadcast anyways. I'm sure it's not going to be my final thought of the day, you know.
Oh, before nap time, anyway.
Yeah, that's coming up pretty soon. Look, just let me say this. Be who you are. There's not another one like you in all of creation. There's not supposed to be. If there was, we would all be the same. The only thing that's the same about any of us is the life force that's within us that was gifted to us. And that was gifted to you to be who you are. Whoever you are, be the best you that you can be. That way, when I look around me, I can say, I see you. I see you. I see you. and I can collect them all. It's a whole bunch of used guys, and it's wonderful. Be who you are.
Yep.
You don't need to be who somebody else thinks you should be.
Right.
Be who you are. Let them be who they are. Doesn't mean you have to stand next to them or hold your hand or swap spit and take long hot showers together. It just means that you recognize them for what they are. Another expression of creation, just like you. No better, no lesser. Okay, but a unique expression. Enjoy that trip.
Right.
Get out there, let it get bumpy, let it get rough, let it get muddy. Enjoy it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Well said. Well, my my last thought before going off air is do not be afraid to look in the mirror and to clear away the smoke. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, hit the rewind button. Pappy spoke a great teaching today, and it really struck me deep. And all that smoke is just the glamoury. And the glamoury is not who we are, not who we truly are. So I will reiterate his words. Be yourself. Be fearless in being who you are. All right. I love you all. Love and light.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for journeying on this road with me. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all. I really,
Talk
truly
to you
do.
soon, Pappy. Talk to you
I
soon,
see you.
Pappy.
Aquani.
Yep.
Bye.
Heather, I'm gonna send you a text real quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Or you can hang out for 1 second if you'd like.
Okay.
All right. Love you all in chat. Have a great day.